Hi, Miriam here from Artcurious. How are you? Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to make something useful. Instead of throw it away, we are going to use this part of packaging that I found very inspiring to make an organizer. But you don't need to buy a Cricut to receive it. I'm sure you have something that you saved because you think it's the form that it's amazing, or maybe you will find something. Maybe you have a box of tea that you really like and you think it's worth to do something with it. So you see, I am now cutting in manageable pieces the prints that I have, and I'm going to now play with color. I don't love only one color. I love a lot of colors, and vibrant and contrastant. So that's what you are going to see next. I received the inspiration for this work from two people. One was Patricia Carmichael from PM Artist Studio. She made a box and she made collage on it, and that remind me that I have this packaging and I can do it. And also Ceri Griffiths, he made several months ago, I think, he made some boxes for ephemera. I think that was very clever. I will search for it and I will leave you the two links so you can go and see for yourself the font of my inspirations. Okay, so don't be afraid to cut again whatever you prepare, because you need to go with the form, you need to go with the place you have, the room you have. So here you see I made all the interior. Now I'm going to do the exterior part. Here in the exterior, I need to put something that make me so happy whenever I see it. And I didn't break it apart, I didn't cut it further. I wanted to be the whole for me to enjoy. That's what happens when you use the paper you made, that instead of being in a binder where you hardly are going to see it, you can do things with it. And sometimes it's a picture, you can put it in display, or a useful thing like this. If you afraid to touch with the hands because you think you're going to stain with glue if you have it in your hands, or be glued to the paper, it happens. You can use a baby wipe and do the same. from there, that was my image, I managed to finish, or almost finish, all the exterior. And we have worked with it yet. We didn't finish. Don't think that we finished. But that will be matter for another video. Now, as I am jump from thing to thing, here is the finished work. And now we are going to start with the second part of the double jeopardy, that is the journal. Yes. I think I have more journals than what I need to write or draw. But never is enough. So I have this border cutter. I don't know how to say, if not. And I did those papers have 3 signatures. The first and the last one are made with the bags that I received from the supermarket. The same one that we put to protect the table. In the middle, we have cardstock, various colors, and some with the border, some with no border. I use also the cutter that I have with the wiggly border. For the cover and back cover, I utilize a box of donuts. Now, 2 things. One, I'm planning to do the cover with fabric, and here is the fabric sewn and ready to be glued. So I decided not to glue the covers, but in the places I put inside. You will see in a minute, because it was a very, very thin fabric, and I was afraid that it would show the glue. That made it, in a sense, more difficult to put it, but I think it went well, at last. Oh. And thank you for putting with my English and my accent, my lack of words sometimes. Well, you'll see that I am using those clips to sustain in place the fabric while I glue it. I realized that it can make a mark on the fabric, so I found out that acetate is the best, and I have a lot of little pieces, so here I'm going to glue. You will see. I'm gluing the side. It's not the side I normally we're going to start, But in this case, that I needed to stretch the fabric, I found easier to start with it. If you are going to do a simple binding or a paper cover, you can start from the larger border that is the opposite of that. What I did. We are going to do some binding because I want to do a series of several different bindings, and we are going to do it in only that and in detail. Okay, now bear with me. I'm going to here I put an acetate, and on the acetate I put the clip that preserves the fabric, or even the paper if you are doing this with paper. Here I didn't put, so I'm going to glue, and then I'm going to put an acetate before, and then the clip. As you can see, every time I am arranging the things on my table is because I don't like to work with a lot of things at hand or on the desk. Here, you see? What bothers me goes to the place, the correct place. If I don't use it, I don't need it to be on the desk. Sometimes you can't, I know, I know it. But it's better for the work you really are doing. If you don't have space, if you have so many things that you can think, you need to address this first and then work, or continue working. This is the very, very important thing, because it's the cover, it's what you are going to see all the time, okay? So you need to take your time, do it step by step. Don't try to have it finish in an instant, because it doesn't happen. We crafters and artists know how many time it takes, how many work it takes. It's not that I wake up in the morning and it's there. So we need to take like a break on life. That's art for me. I made my own breaks. I make my own enjoyment. And I really enjoy this. It's a miracle. This box was full once. Now it's spread everywhere. Here. You need to see it all the time, to fold and see, because sometimes when you glue something, if you don't do it one part, unfold, and the other part, it will be very tight, and it will rip. Okay. Now you will see. this is the inner part of the cover. So that's the part that you need to do really, really conscious of the step by step, because you need to glue it to the, let's say, back cover in the inside, of course. After that, you need to fold the spine and glue the spine, and then fold again, and then glue the cover. Because if you don't do that, and you will see, even if you do, and don't wait that to be dry, the glue, to go ahead, to advance, will happen what happened to me, that in the place that there is a folder, it rips. I put some tape, but you know, there is no need for that. Yes, I put washi tape because it's prettier, but that reminds me that it's better to do apart the spine from the covers and back cover, to leave like 5 millimeters between one and other, and of course to use for the spine inside an oversized, like a fabric or something special that is only for binding. I don't have it. But even if you use cardstock for it, if you made separately, it's better. So we'll see in future videos, like a tutorial of binding. I'm no expert, just saying, but I love it. I found out that I love it, and it's not a miracle, you know. Here I have this tool to do the folds. It's better than my hand. Here you see, fold and glue. That's the name of the game. Well, I was thinking why I do love so much this. So I remember that my grandfather from my father's side, he was a binder. I don't know if that's a word, but he was. He made albums and books for living. When I was little, he hardly worked, then he retired. But all the place were full of materials that now I understand why. Because maybe it reminds me of him, maybe it reminds me my own childhood. Okay. Now I'm taking the measurements of the height and of the spine, and with that measurement I'm going to do a template for the holes to bind. We are going to do a 5-hole binding, with knots on the outside. So first of all, we need a template. We have 3 signatures. That means that we need to do on the spine the holes for the 3 signatures. That's 5 for 3 times is 15. We are going to do 3 lines equidistant from the border and between them. And then we are distributing the 5 holes all over the height of the template. Always equidistant. Only if you want to do something special with this, so you will see, but in this case it's equidistant. So after that we will use the template for the cover, but we also will use the middle one. That means only 5 holes, not 15, in each signature. I made a roll with the fog that came in a packaging, yes. And I'm going to use it, this one, to punch the holes and not damage. Not only not damage, all the surface that it's like a spring, and it's better to do holes on that surface and not the paper on the desk straight. Well, it seems that take me a long time to mark it, but it's okay. You need to take the time, because it will be, you will see it first glance. You'll see. I'm perfectionist. When I was little, I arrived to my father's studio that it was in my grandfather's house. So I have a lot of things to play. But my grandfather have all the cardboards, like piles of cardboards and cardboards in various measurements. So I took them, it was like a patio. I took them and I filled the patio of houses. Houses I made with this, like when you play with cards, exactly like this, but with cardboards with the measurements of an album, and a disc album, a long play. And it was so funny. I rearranged all the materials that my grandfather have. I'm going to explain you the 5 holes. How do we do the binding? First of all, we need to align one with another. We are going to take all the clips Here is when I found the chair. Okay, yes. Still don't have washi tape. Or yes, yes. Here I put the template and I clip it in place. It's very important because we are going to do 15 holes and no one can sustain in place all the time. That is like you have another two hands. Always, always use whatever you have to do your job simpler, do your job easier. There is no shame on that. Here you see how easy it is to make holes with the right tools. Doing that from outside only make the more elegant ending, because all the debris of the cardboard that when you do a hole, it goes under. Now I'm going to sew the first signature. I am using wax string, but you can use anything you want, even ribbon. That will be according to the ending that you want to bring to do, but also what you have, you're not going to run to the shopping to buy something that you don't have. Okay, so use what you have. Try to play, but not pay. Something like that. Okay. You need to enter from the bottom hole and you go out and to the upper hole, and then you enter every one of them in the way to the one you enter. In the other side you made 3 times like a knot, and then you enter for the same hole and go to the next. Here I have some difficulty because they are not aligned. It's the one signature that broke me apart. I don't know. It broke. But you see that even I managed to do it. I use a curve. I don't know the name. here, you see all the nuts everywhere. I promise to do a tutorial